building out? Who are you looking forward to stepping up?
Well, everybody, you know, nobody has to turn into Superman. They just have to do their jobs. I have a lot of confidence in the guys that train with us over a long period of time, so they'll get their opportunity tonight. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Renee. Despite their recent struggles, Melbourne or New Zealand could go to third on the ladder if they win. And let's have a look at the New Zealand starting five. And there's plenty of shooting power there.
Yep. At the point guard, we have import Ben Woodside. At the 2 spot, we have Kurt Penny, probably coming off his best game. At the 3 spot, we have high-flying Thomas Abercrombie. At the 4 spot, we have Mika Vukona. And at the 5 spot, we have the big Alex Pledger.
And you said it about Kirk Penny. It wasn't just him, it was the entire Breakers roster that got going against Adelaide last week. They'll be looking to continue that on here today.
Yeah, fresh from a much-needed win at home. Here's Paul and Ari, the coach of the New Zealand Breakers with Renee.
I'm here with Paul. Now, no wins yet on the road this season. Have you prepared any differently?
No, we've just been going about the same process for us. It doesn't sit well with the guys that we haven't won on the road, and hopefully we've done enough throughout the week to enable us to get a win tonight.
And how much confidence do you take from beating Melbourne in round 1?
A little bit, but you know, it's I think both teams have come a long way since then. You know, there's some things that we can take out of that game that we want to you know, build on and continue to work on. And there's some things that we could have improved on as well.
Excellent, and all the best tonight.
Thank you.
Well, they scored 119 against Adelaide. Going to be tough to repeat that dose tonight. It's going to be a great match. It's coming up next. It's Melbourne United, and it's the New Zealand Breakers. Been a very warm day in Melbourne, windy, but we're certainly going to enjoy a hot Friday night, and plenty of fans, young and old, making their way into Hisense Arena, and really looking forward to this one. There's a bit of rivalry there, even in the short years they've played against each other, Tommy.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you just go back to last season when Melbourne United finished minor premiers, only to be knocked out by the Breakers in that 2 back-to-back games, once here at Hisense and the other one, of course, over at VEQTA Arena.
And what do you think tonight? What's the key for New Zealand to be able to do it on the road for the first time this year?
Well, I think they've just got to stick to what they were doing last week against Adelaide. They've got to be tenacious on the boards. They're a good rebounding team. I think they sit 3rd at the moment, so really clean up the glass and shoot the ball well from the perimeter.
And we're into it. Round 5 action. Penny working with Pledger. They were red hot early last week. We're able to pretty much continue that. Penny with 7 from 8 in 3-point land. Doesn't get the first shot away.
Turnover to start.
So Cedric Jackson, of course, a former breaker. He's got a big role to play tonight, as you mentioned off the top, Tommy. Very quiet last week, just in the last game against Cairns, just 3 points and couldn't contain Trice either.
Yeah, look, he's still managing to get his assists every game, but I'm just looking for a bit more aggression from him on the offensive end. Just penetrate, try and get his shooters open, force a bit of penetration. His rotation. Yeah,
happy to get low and getting closer. Majuk gets the friendly roll and gets United started.
And look, that's a great start from Majuk. They're going to need to find scorers out of their you know, the not most efficient guys on the team. So looking for Majuk to have a good one.
And it's a Melbourne call, and probably not happy.
It's good rotation by Cedric to get that block shot.
So Jackson getting his hands on it plenty early. Driving, kicking it back out. Orangey getting a start tonight. As we said, no Blanchfield and no Chris Golding. It's a lot of scoring power, and that means Moore needs to step up. 15 points 3 times this year, including against Cairns. And Penny runs one in.
And look, that was all a little bit too easy for Kirk Penny. Obviously still feeling it from his 7 of 8 last week against Adelaide.
Ramon Moore. 7 NBL games. This is his 8th tonight. Jackson. He's trying to get an into Majuk, who jumps up and dunks the imaginary ball. No points for that. But a couple for that from Pledger.
And that transition basket from New Zealand. They seem to be trying to get Cedric going early. Get him in the post, got him in the pick and roll.
Here's Moore. Tight guarding. Floats one up off the glass, and no joy there. Good, strong defensive start as well from New Zealand. Woodside. It's impressive a couple of matches ago against the Bullets. Penny working down with VEQTA and gets the rollies after. This is a good start for New Zealand.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really concerning signs for Melbourne United early. Only the 4-point difference, but a couple of major lapses on the defensive end already.
Yeah, they pushing the ball up, getting quick breaks, and just penetrating their defense.
And look at VEQTA with his trademark defensive pressure, making them earn it.
New Zealand hasn't shot in the 3 yet. Everything is on the rim.
And Moore close enough just to pop one up for a couple and then have a second try.
And I really like that from Ramon Moore. You mentioned it. He's had 15 points 3 times this season, but with the injuries to Golding and to Blanchfield, they're really going to need him to step up and put some points on the board.
And again, they get very close range. Woodside with the penetration, and then Pledger another basket. Urgency shown by Odyssey. Comes up with nothing though. Woodside. Pledger. Penny. Take it and shoot. VEQTA. Big offensive board. Kicks it out. Woodside doesn't hesitate. Looking for the big 3 ball. And the foul is drawn on Abercrombie.
Be interesting to see where the Melbourne United get points from.
Yeah. That's the big question right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Ramon Moore needs to be a lot more aggressive at this time.
Absolutely, Mac. I totally agree with that. I think they need to try and find a way to get David Anderson involved as well.
Yeah, Anderson's shot between 8 and 15 points in every game, so it's been solid. But
it's a similar situation with Moore and Anderson, isn't it? Both sort of around that mark, but just need to put on a big amount of points for him to come away with a win today.
Jackson maybe had the chance to go up himself, but wanted to get Majuk involved. I mean, obviously.
And look, that's just a veteran move. He was calling for that mismatch the second he saw Owen Odyssey on his back. Woodside clever enough to get the ball around the top of the arc there, feed it inside, and the big man went to work.
And already the home side looking at a 6-point deficit. We haven't seen a 3-point shot taken from either side tonight. Anderson, there we go. Jackson. You can't draw it either. Moore. Nothing doing.
New Zealand looking to get out and run on these guys.
Penny.
Sloppy little possession there by Kirk Penny. Very uncharacteristic from the vet.
Yeah, stop the black cover.
Good hands there by Ramon Moore. Just getting a little tip on that basketball, causing the turnover.
So no 3-pointers made successfully for either team so far.
And what a luxury is this, bringing Akil Mitchell in off the bench for the Breakers. He and Webster both start games on the pine for New Zealand. It's why their bench is the best scoring bench in the NBL currently.
Something Corey Webster certainly not familiar with until this year. And Mitchell's got better the last 3 games. Bit of a slow start. Prodigy, and now Anderson. I see Mitchell putting the pressure on as much as he can. Anderson, tough work to get to the hoop. And draws the foul and go to the line.
I think defensively for the Melbourne United, I think they need to be a little bit more active down there. Try to get active hands, try to come up with some steals.
Well, it's something you know all about.
Yeah, something I've done over my career.
Just a thing or two.
Yeah.
Tommy just keeping his wallet and keys a little bit away from you just in case here.
Yeah, he's taken them before. Wouldn't surprise me.
So Anderson to the line.
I think if they can get active and get some deflections and get out of run, takes the pressure off them running a half-court offense. A couple of easy baskets always helps.
David Anderson makes them both count. They need to take everything on offer and stay in touch with New Zealand.
For me, this is where Cedric Jackson can be a lot better. Just being active at the defensive end. Again, I think he's the point guard in this league, and a lot of guys come to this league wants to play against him. So I think he needs to start. Everything starts with him as the point guard. He's got to start at the defensive end.
On one side, Webster, Penny, and Pledger. Wasn't quite how they planned it, but got there anyway. And he's already got 6 points to his name, and he's a factor so far.
You just feel like Ben Woodside's just starting to find his way in the league at the moment. He had the 8 assists against Adelaide, and he's just doing a great job of distributing to his scorers.
Here's Moore.
What I love about him, he just does what's expected. He doesn't try to overdo it.
Anderson hasn't quite found it yet. Penny. Looking to build on a 6-point advantage. What a start it is on the road for New Zealand. Reaching in there, no call. Woodside. Shot clock down to 5. Will he take it himself? I think so now, fading away. And the ball falls short, but grabbed by Penny, snatches the opportunity.
And Melbourne United cannot afford to give away second possessions on the offensive end. They've done it all season, giving up those offensive rebounds. But with a man like Kirk Penny, anyone who's watched NBL over the last, 5-6 seasons would be wary of him.
Yeah, you don't want to give him extra shots. And most, best time to shoot those shots is off of offensive rebound. Those guys got to block out.
One thing,
and that's everybody. Sorry, Hunter.
That's all right. One thing you guys have both talked about already is how they've been able to penetrate and get easy early shots.
Absolutely. You just look at this. This was Kirk Penny's first couple of points. That lane just opened up like the Red Sea. Once again, just finding his way into Makona here. David Anderson moved way too easily on that occasion. And Hunter, you mentioned Pledger. Ben Woodside and Pledger just finding a little bit of chemistry here late in the corner. A couple of back-to-back buckets.
So all good in the New Zealand camp at this stage. It's a fine start for them, but Dean Demopoulos really got his headaches at this stage. We're going to see some of the bench players come in now, and they're going to have to make an impact, aren't they?
You look at that rebounding. They already New Zealand already has 10 rebounds to Melbourne's 3.
And look, that's really interesting. I was down at Melbourne United during the week. They spent almost an entire training session on the glass, just going at it. Almost come to fisticuffs. These boys were down here going at it, trying to work on their rebounding. So expect a better effort from the boys as this game goes on.
We saw Ty Wesley's come into the game along with Devin Williams. And Kyle Adnam also on the floor.
Wholesale subs for Melbourne besides Ramon Moore.
Yeah, that's right. So 4 off and 4 on. Tomlinson's going to run the show.
New Zealand comes back into a zone.
Get out! Get out! Ty Wesley, he's going to have to be a big factor, I think. If
Melbourne looked a bit stagnant versus that zone. Great finish by Nate.
Great take by Nate Tomlinson, who's provided a spark in the last 2 Melbourne United games. In the 4th quarter against Perth, and then again.
Foul on Williams.
He's not happy either, the big fella. Devin Williams.
It's an opportunity for him.
It is an opportunity. 15 minutes, 4 points and 5 rebounds against Cairns. Oh, he's got serious ups as Mitchell.
Yeah.
And just got the Kevin McHale of the NBL, the up and unders.
Another drive, another layup for New Zealand.
Curation with the 2. And again, it's just way too easy. It's been a horrendous start defensively by Melbourne United. As Wesley gets some contact on the way to the basket.
Interesting to see Torhi Smith-Milner, a New Zealand born and raised kid, been elevated into the Melbourne United lineup with Toddy Blanchfield going down, stepping onto the court for his first minutes today.
A quick sub. Devin Williams wasn't on for a long time.
That's a good point. Obviously, the coach not happy. It feels like it's a little bit desperate at this very early stage for Melbourne United. And that's a lovely basket from Lowe.
And look, that spells trouble if Rob Lowe starts knocking him down from deep as well. This New Zealand outfit got so many weapons on that perimeter.
That's what he does for a big, one of the better pick and pop guys in the league.
Dean Dimopoulos making another change.
And look, it just sort of feels like Dean Dimopoulos at the moment is just searching for a bit of energy. Yeah. He's just he's going through his roster. He's trying to find someone on the bench at the moment here who can come in and spark a bit of a run for the boys.
You're not still on the roster, are you, Tommy?
Mate, I wouldn't be sparking anything, let me tell you.
Well, he needs something right now. Nate Tomlinson, always wholehearted in his efforts.
I think this is the lineup over the last couple of weeks for Melbourne United. You know, who generates the points for these guys?
It's a really good question, especially when you look at the firepower of these breakers who we showed last week. They put on 119 points against Adelaide.
The most ever.
Offensive display.
Melbourne United back in the zone. Maybe this could slow New Zealand down. Still penetration.
Well, first touch wasn't there, but the second was. And it's Lowe again, who's feasting already. Up to 5 points. Tomlinson, and the margin is out at 13. Very dangerous situation so early in the match. Wesley. Decides not to take the shot. Adnan got Webster up in the air, and he makes it count. The crowd trying to get Melbourne started here. He's a crowd favourite when he gets a chance.
Great recognition by Melbourne to see the mismatch with Wesley.
Wow. Oh, look out,
and
Corey
then
Webster. Monster from Corey Webster, just to shut the crowd up straight away. Tomlinson's got the adrenaline pumping. He doesn't get the and one, he'll go to the line instead. Try and make it 2.
And how about this? Webster knows how to silence a crowd. He's been doing it for years. Just stepped up to the plate. Whap up.
Again, coming off one of his better games last week. You know, he's one of those guys you know can fill it up. You definitely don't want to get him going.
It's a bit of a scary feeling, isn't it, D-Mac? I mean, those who have been around the league for a while know that when the breakers click, they generally sort of start a little bit slow, but when they start to click, it's terrifying signs for the rest of the league, and I think that's what we saw last week.
Well, they're winners, aren't they, really? Their history says that. Tomlinson just 1 from 3, now 2 from 4 from the stride. So, multiple concerns for Dean Dimopoulos, the New Zealand coach. Despite appearances, should be feeling very happy with the way things are going so far. Mitchell hands off to Penny. Low, no call, but the ball is United's anyway.
No hands here, no hands
United
here.
holding it for the last shot.
Yeah, 10 seconds to go. Can they make it a good one? Adnan. Tomlinson. Adnan, he'll take the shot and make it! And that is something to take the quarter time for. Something for the crowd to cheer about, because there was not much in the opening quarter. Without 2 of their stars, Melbourne United are seriously under the pump at quarter time. But a big 3 right on the buzzer has them 10 points adrift. It's New Zealand 27, Melbourne 17. Well, what a start for the New Zealand Breakers on the road, where they haven't yet had a victory in season 2016-17, but they've made a mighty start. They've dominated the rebounds. Melbourne without two of their stars. There's no Chris Golding. There's no Todd Blanchfield tonight. New Zealand clean with their shots. They've dominated the boards. In fact, they're rebounding 12-3 in the opening term. Tommy Greer and Darren McDonald, Anthony Hudson with him in commentary. NBL round 5, and the home team well and truly up against it here, Tommy, early in the second.
Absolutely. Oh, young Kyle with
early fire. Well, he's been the surprise spark so far.
Absolutely. I mean, we mentioned earlier, Demopoulos looking through the bench, trying to find someone to lift the energy in this gym. I think he's found him. Wild Kyle with a couple of back-to-back threes.
He's got 8 points. And Penny can't get that one to drop. So suddenly it's back to 7 points, and not all doom and gloom. Had them with a big basket on either side of quarter time. Awesome contact. Just as he was starting to run out of real estate. Here's the big triple.
It's good to see him being aggressive.
Absolutely. I mean, Kyle Adnam's been doing this in the SEABL, which is the second division here in Victoria for the Kilsyth Cobras for a number of years. So those that are local will know the calibre of player he is, but great to see him getting an opportunity and making the most.
Yes, it is.
Well,
and again, I think you said it, Melbourne United looking for some energy from somebody. He could be that spark.
Back to 7. Bench points for Melbourne, 14 out of their 20. So they need their starters to really step up. I mean, they need everyone to step up, but the points have come from Adnam so far, as we mentioned, with game high 8. Now, everyone's looking for answers when you're struggling a bit. At quarter time, just checking to make sure that the rings are right.
That's desperation moves here. It looks like they're trying to work out whether the Melbourne United rim is straight. Is that the answer?
Nate said something at the end of the quarter.
Maybe the rim's crooked. Kyle Adnam doesn't seem to be having any issues. So.
Exactly right. Maybe it's a bit lower than normal.
And then he'll start. Maybe he'll get up and get a couple of dunks. That'll definitely get this crowd going.
Just played 9 minutes against Cairns in their last match, but definitely getting much more opportunity in the absence of Chris Golding, and then tonight, Todd Blanchfield, and he's up to 9 points. Into double figures, and the margin is cut to 5. Melbourne are on a 9-point roll here. It certainly changed the feel of this game.
No hands, no hands.
Low. Webster. Majuk almost had it stolen. Adnam in the right spot. He's got Jackson away to his right, who's demanding the ball. Now it comes to Collette. Oh, and another one. And another one! Get in there, young fella. He's the go-to man at the moment, Kyle Adnam. And suddenly, this ball game is back to 3 points. This is an extraordinary performance from Kyle Adnam.
And he's searching for it too.
All the momentum suddenly with United. Jackson doesn't want to be forgotten. Shot goes up from Lewis.
Melbourne are getting the stops they need. And Jacques doing what he does, rebound, offensive rebounds. Adnam is definitely taking advantage of his opportunities.
Benny Lewis out there in the one. Majuk. Jackson. Now Wesley. Adnam again. Oh! Now, shot clock was running out. Now Woodside goes solo. Offensive! And that gets the crowd to their feet.
And young Kyle Adnam is everywhere. He's knocking him down from range, stepping in front of veteran import point guards, taking shot. Look at this one, just got right in front of Woodside that time. Took the bump right in the middle. We're going the other way.
Well, let's go down to Renee, who knows a bit about Kyle. Renee.
Well, boys, I'm not surprised by what we're seeing by Kyle Adnam at the moment. I actually have a bit of a soft spot for him because he's been dating my sister for the past 7 years and actually lived with me for a year when he was a development player for Adelaide. So I've seen all of the hard work that he's put in behind the scenes, and I'm just thrilled that he was able to bring this energy tonight.
Yep, so you're claiming it, Renee. Good stuff. He misses for a rare occasion, but the feel in this game has changed completely. And he's been the reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show like how much of professional sport comes down to opportunity. You know, once you get to this level, everyone can play. It doesn't matter how deep down in the bench you go. All these guys have the talent to play at the level. Just getting those extra minutes, seeing a couple go down, feeling confident, and that's what we're seeing out of Kyle.
It's opportunity and then confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Interesting to see if he's actually on his scouting report with all the guys they got. And the way he comes out, he's gonna be on his scouting report. I guarantee the next time they play. He's gonna be on everybody's scouting report.
He's just gone over to Chris Golding and said, mate, you just...
And their free agent list.
Yeah, just 12 points per game.
Great pass.
He'll go to the line, but he doesn't get the 2 to count.
Look at this real strong take here by Majuk. Majuk went up for the one-hand banger. Abercrombie did enough to deter it.
I notice in Melbourne, anytime there's a mismatch, they're looking to double. That's a great pass from Wesley.
3 fouls now on Abercrombie. So he's frustrated. Sitting down.
Substitution, and more back for Benny Lewis.
And Kirk Penny subbing back in for Corey Webster. Interesting to see Paulie and Ari sort of quick on the substitutions here early in the second quarter.
Edges United closer again. He's got 11 points in Cairns last Thursday night with 6 rebounds. So the Breakers, 3-point advantage. Still early in quarter 2. NBL round 5 action. Oh, look at that for a slick ball in for Penny. And again, it doesn't drop for him, but he'll go to the line.
And look, that's just one of the massive advantages that this New Zealand Breaker team has, is having a guy like Mika Vukona in that 4 spot who can step out and make these passes, just threaded it through the defense to the cutting Kirk Penny.
New Zealand run pretty efficient offense, and that's just that play there is just something they've added to it. They get bounce pass from the corner, get Penny up for a layup.
27 points in 25 minutes against Adelaide in that blitz that really got their season back on track. He's a star, Kirk Penny. Of course, returning for New Zealand after being with Illawarra. Enjoying his time in the Friday night lights. Wesley back on the floor. Jackson. Moore got balanced. He gets the three.
And a fantastic find by Cedric Jackson. Just slipped baseline that time. Found Ramon Moore in the quarter.
Woodside. Oh, Majuk came from nowhere to shut that down. And Moore's ready to take. Wait. And then back out again. Jackson says, tried to start it and tried to finish it, but couldn't. Woodside is low for Delaney. No score. Wipes that one away.
Really glad to see Finn Delaney getting some minutes. I've been part of the free Finn Delaney movement going on around the NBL. This boy has some serious ups, and he posterized a few people in the preseason tournament, so looking forward to seeing him out.
Just a 2-point margin now. It was 10 at quarter time. Adnan, he thought he got some contact. Doesn't quite get the two, but they're giving it straight back New Zealand.
And New Zealand just looking a little bit out of sorts at the moment. Kyle Adams really sparked Melbourne United. And look at Majuk just rising up, slapping that one off the glass.
Great recovery from him after getting beat off the dribble to get that block shot.
And Kyle gets a massive roar from the crowd.
I think we're going to see more of him.
Yeah.
Jackson almost completely lost the handle that time. Wesley didn't have a lot of time to settle. Majuk fights the fight. Penny, though, more than a match, but he stepped on the sideline.
Great effort on the offensive glass there by Majuk. Majuk just earning extra possessions for Melbourne. Didn't have position that time, but continued fighting for the rebound. Speaking with the assistant coaches from Melbourne United at shoot-around today, they said they were going to junk it up tonight. So without two of their scorers, they're just going to have to really try and make this into a junkyard dog fight.
Anderson and Jackson. And that was to tie the scores. Starting to rack the fouls up here, New Zealand.
No, not inside, you didn't. Two shots. Sorry, guys.
Just got caught that time, just having the two hands on the sort of the waist there of Cedric Jackson. You're not allowed to do that. You can arm bar with one out in front, but you can never put the two open palms on your opponent.
It's good to see him. He's looking to be aggressive, which is good. And I noticed they get him in the post a fair bit. And, you know, when he's in the post, he doesn't necessarily look to score. He looks to get other people involved, which is not a bad thing.
It's a really good point. Most teams we've seen so far this season tend to send a double towards Cedric in the post, which creates openings.
So New Zealand just staying ahead, but it's marginal now. Terrific fight back by Melbourne United. Penny letting it down low. Makona threatened a little one behind the back. Instead, it's out to Woodside. And now Melbourne with a chance to take the lead. Under 5 minutes in the second quarter. Anderson to catch the shot. Jackson scrapped hard. Here's Delaney, draws a little bit of contact on the journey.
I don't know what happened.
New Zealand just looking a little bit out of sorts on the offensive end at the moment.
Williams and Owen Odyssey coming back in the game. I think Williams needs to bring that same energy Majak was playing with. Creating extra possessions for Melbourne.
Reggie got a good look. But,
big time rebound.
yeah, that's the athleticism you were talking about. Woodside to Pledger. And that counts for 2.
And look, that's just impressive footwork by big Alex Pledger. That was a tough little catch on the move. Managed to gather his feet, little step through, off balance. There it is, little step through, took the hit. Tough finish by Alex Pledger.
You know, me being a point guard, or used to be a point guard, I just love that pass. It's a great, great pocket pass from Ben Woodside.
Pledger already with 8 points to his name, leading the scorers for New Zealand. Penny has 7. Adam game high 12.
You can really see the chemistry between Woodside and Pledger already.
This is more. Oh! Pledger thought it was good, but then he didn't.
Great hesitation move by Moore.
It was, and that's the aggressiveness we spoke about earlier. You know, with Melbourne United's injuries, he's really going to have to sort of, I guess, take more opportunities than he'd be used to.
Yeah, exactly. I love the fact that he can play, he can have the ball in his hand and make plays. I think they need to find a way to get him, get him doing those, making plays, even if it's not for himself, for other players. But I love his game.
Moore grew up in Philadelphia. He's played in plenty of places. Hungary, Ukraine, Lithuania. 27 years of age. Smooth there at the line. Melbourne back within 1.
Melbourne again coming back to his zone.
Woodside. Oh, Mitchell couldn't take the shot. Kona couldn't make it. And now Wesley rolls in. Oh, can't get it in off the glass to take the lead. Really flicking the ball around here, New Zealand, in offense. Kona takes on Ty Wesley. Forced to kick it out. Mitchell's got a bit of a run down the lane, but Ty Wesley was ready and waiting.
Great outside defense that time by Ty Wesley. Kill Mitchell just burnt David Anderson the top of the key here, but Wesley stepping over for the big shock block.
Woodside. Just under 3.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Webster, they're all over him.
Great double team.
I think he stepped on it before there was anything else.
Fantastic double team on that occasion by David Anderson, trapping Webster in the corner.
Saying he got pushed. Certainly the spectator lost half his beer. He wasn't balanced enough. United a chance to take the lead before half-time. It did not look likely in the first quarter. Anderson. Kona. He was up, he was down. Back to Anderson again. Working for Kona over time. Taking the shot, taking the points, and taking the lead for Melbourne United.
And look, that is really tough for Mika Bakona. He did everything he could in the block. He played straight up. Seemed to be playing pretty straight up defense. Anderson still coming away with an M1.
And now New Zealand calling the timeout.
Well, Dave, it's something he's done over his career. He's played in Europe, he's played in the NBA. The one thing I see about what I've seen with him is he can get that ball in the post and he can score. Bacona's a very good defender, but sometimes good offense beats good defense.
One thing New Zealand need is to get a little bit more of what they had in the last game. And they got 7 points from Penny, Abercrombie 3, Webster only 3 against Adelaide. they were all getting in on the act with big numbers.
Absolutely, and look, that was a much different style of game. Adelaide really liked to press. New Zealand did a great job of breaking that sort of first part of the press in the backcourt there and exposing it down the other end of the floor, and that's how their shooters got going. Today, much different style of game. Melbourne United junking it up, going back into a lot of zone, forcing New Zealand to have to get through sets.
As we said, Kirk Penny was the star on that night with 7 out of 8 three-pointers made. And tonight he has just put up 3 three-pointers and made just one of them.
Definitely a different game than last week. When you look at New Zealand had 35 points in the first quarter compared to today when they only got 34. There's still 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Absolutely, and after the first quarter of this one, I think they were up to about 27 points. It looked like it was going to be a similar style of game, you know, push the tempo, confident on the offensive end, but Melbourne United have done a really great job bogging this thing up, locking down and really packing it in on D.
They have been good defensively. Again, just being active.
1 minus, 1 shot only.
And a testament to it was that last play, that double on Webster. He's being aggressive on D.
David Anderson, 4 points at
On that one, just the slow little back down, hit him with a little right-hand hook.
And speaking of Wesley, doesn't get the role he was after.
Looked like he was trying to draw a foul.
Just 2 points for Ty Wesley so far. Mitchell. That's a tough two.
Look, he is a strong man. Akil Mitchell just powering through David Anderson for the circus finish.
Get set on those screens.
Tomlinson. Anderson. Wesley and Moore reaches through.
Great step move by Moore. A little baby Euro step there.
Start now!
And it seems the breaks are really trying to expose David Anderson on the defensive end of the floor here. The last 3 times down the court, they've gone straight at David Anderson. Twice at Akil, that time at Alex Pleasure. This is clearly a tactic by Paul Henare.
He's into double figures now, Pledger. Nice soft touch tonight for the big number 35 for the Breakers. And they're back in front. Moore, what a move, and can't get the basket. Up for grabs, Anderson, good desperation, both teams. Tomlinson.
Easy.
Anderson hard on the left, spinning on the right as it's snatched away. Darryl McDonald style. And Corey Webster.
13 for Go back to
That
the
was
pistol gun on
straight
the
out of
baseline.
the DMAC playbook. Just sit back, mine.
It's a great read by Webster. He almost knew exactly where Anderson was going.
Kyle Adams back on the court. And that's what all the cheers were.
I was going to say, you wouldn't know it by the crowd's reaction.
Gets away from Toretta. Webster recovers beautifully. Doesn't quite get the flow of the shot. Ledger just showing off.
I thought Nate read that well. Just got there a little bit too late.
Good job, Kyle. Good job.
We're going to get Renee to catch up with Kyle on the way off at half-time. So we'll see whether her story about being friends with him and all that is true or not. Nice touch from Majuk.
And of course, New Zealand over the foul count now. That's why Majuk sent down the other end to take his free throws.
Abercrombie, the only one individually in any sort of real trouble with 3, but plenty of players with 2 fouls, so it's Colin to be watched in the second half. And scores are level as we approach half-time. Great vision, unfortunately, for Wesley doesn't come off. Ledger denied the opportunity of putting in the 2 straight away.
Breakers a little lucky on that occasion. Ty Wesley did a great job just slipping underneath the defense, poking that ball away.
2 shots. Thanks, guys. 2 shots.
Watching Isaiah at the top of that, top of those turnouts, you know, I think he needs to see both sides. Kurt Finney came off the other side wide open.
It's almost a rugby handoff there. So Pledger now is on the verge of having a season high. 11 points here. Had a great first half. Who would have thought that Pledger and Adnan would be the 2 highest scorers on the court?
I'm not sure they're even keeping a book on that one.
No. Gives the narrow lead to New Zealand, but that could change.
I think that says a lot about the NBL. You know, you get your opportunities, you take advantage of it.
This man has. Adnan with 12 in the first half. He did it just before quarter time. Will he try and do it again on the half? Wesley, shot clock down to 1. Shot had to be taken from Tomlinson, and it was so close. They'll get another crack, though.
And you can credit that to Majuk once again, just going the extra mile on the offensive glass, fighting Pledger once again. Here it is, doesn't have position, keeps fighting with Pledger, doesn't let him come down with it cleanly.
Ready, guys? Hold screen. Screen with you.
There's a chance for more, just tucks it under the arm. No call. One last shot. Ooh. So, half-time here at Hisense Arena, and we have ourselves a Friday night ball game. It's 41 the Breakers. It's United 40, 10 points down at quarter time. Back within 9 points, and the hero for Melbourne in the first half, Kyle Adnam, who would have thought, and he is with Renee.
Boys, Melbourne were looking for energy, and Kyle Adnam certainly provided that. What were Dean's instructions before you went out there?
We knew we had a couple of guys out coming in, so it's a group effort. We all got to step up, not just one guy. Fortunately, I had a couple drop for me, but yeah, it's going to be a big second half as a group.
What will Dean's instructions be coming into the second half?
We got to get stops for that first 5 minutes of the quarter. We were really poor defensively, so that's going to be huge for us.
Great, good luck for the second half.
Kyle Adnam, 12 points, still thinking about the team. Well, at least he's saying stuff about the team. He's strutting off at halftime. He's pretty pleased with life, and so he should be. Melbourne. attitudes change. Kyle Adnam surprisingly leading the way, and they made life quite a bit tougher for the New Zealand Breakers. And here at halftime, it's just a 1-point ball game. Aaron McDonald and Tommy Greer. Boys, that was quite unexpected, but terrific. As you said, junked it up was a term you used, and that's been pretty effective for Melbourne United.
Yeah, look, absolutely. During that first quarter, it looked like New Zealand were just going to run away with this thing. They were clinical in the first quarter, but credit to Melbourne United and Kyle Adnam leading the way. They dropped back to that 2-3 zone, really jumped things up, and got themselves back into it.
Adnam was the spark. You can see some of the numbers there. Certainly the rebounds early was a pivotal reason why New Zealand were on top. That evening out a little bit as the game has progressed. Nothing stunning from either side really as far as shooting is concerned, Darryl, as we have a look at some of the highlights of the first half.
Yeah, early on, New Zealand was looking to get fast breaks, so they was pushing the ball up. I think Melbourne was doing a great job of running those guys up the three-point line where they can be very, very effective. But this is where Alex Pledger has come in with offensive rebounds, getting the ball in the post and finishing.
It's been interesting, the scoring for New Zealand, hasn't it? Pledger's in double figures. We didn't expect that. Their gun shooters really haven't got going. We know there's no Blanchfield, there's no Golding as far as United are concerned, so it needed someone like Adnam to really step up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking with the Melbourne United coaches during the week, they said that was going to be the tactic with a couple of injuries that they had. So you've got to run these New Zealand shooters off the line, force them to shoot those long twos, force them to push it inside, and that's what we've seen. You know, Pledger up to the 11, 12 points. Akil Mitchell doing a little bit of damage down there.
And Pledger scoring, he's into double figures as we said. So Webster, Abercrombie, neither of those two have really got...
Again, running the lane, a lot of pick and roll with Woodside dropping it off to him and then finishing. He's 7 feet tall and finishing around the rim. It's been good for him.
Yeah, you said it, D-Mac. I've been really impressed with the chemistry that we're seeing out of Woodside and Pledger. We seem to have a little thing going, a little sort of 1-2 action, which has been really impressive.
So Pledger been terrific. In a word, Tommy, who do you think, which side do you favour going into this second half?
Look, I think the Breakers should come away with this one. Whether Melbourne United can do enough scrapping to sort of junk it up, I don't know, but I think the Breakers' firepower will eventually come away with a win.
All right, well, they haven't had a win on the road yet, so it's going to be a big second half for New Zealand and for Melbourne, and we're back with all the action right after this.
I just came to win.
Third quarter not far away, big Friday night, and you can see the emotion of the first half dominated in the first quarter by New Zealand, and then Melbourne found a way right back into this game, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the start of the third quarter. Coach Dean Demopoulos is on his way, and Renee is ready for a quick chat ahead of this third quarter. Renee.
Thanks so much, guys. Well, Dean, there was a pretty obvious momentum shift halfway through that first quarter. What do we expect now to see in the second half?
I hope the same thing. It's going to be a rough, tough basketball game. They got out to a great start. We settled down. I hope we get out to a better
to start this half.
All the very best of luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
He loves to play coy, Dean Demopoulos, doesn't he? He doesn't often give you much in those little interviews.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be obviously thinking about what's going to happen from here, but he'd be very relieved that they're able to turn things around late in that first quarter and then continue it on in the second. So again, we still... Andrew Gaze, of course, with his Sydney Kings, just kicking back on a Friday night, no doubt, with his feet up watching. And there's Sean Higgins, Kangaroo star, watching on.
Of course, Opal star Liz Cambage as well, sitting front row. And look, these Hisense Melbourne United games have really turned into the place to be here in Melbourne on the weekends. Friday, Saturday night games packed with stars. We've had Leighton Hewitt come in here a few weeks back. We've got stars from all different codes coming along to check these games.
It's been a massive week in Melbourne from a sporting sense with the Melbourne Cup. And as you said, this is really a big part of what is a huge summer of sport in both in Melbourne and right around the country. And Melbourne United certainly turn on a great show. And you can see the crowd really get involved. But what they need is their team to get some wins together. So it's a big second half coming your way here on Friday night.
I think this is a big game for Melbourne. After trying to get on the run.
Important for an offense like New Zealand, isn't it, Mac? You know, they're getting those ball reversals, getting it through hands, getting guys touches.
31 years of age, Ben Woodside. His first NBL action this year. Really getting going. He's played in France and Slovenia, Turkey, Italy. Originally from North Dakota. There he is, taking it back for New Zealand. Penny. Majuk is out at the top. Penny had the agility to quite get the path that he was after.
It was a good defensive possession by Majuk. Forced him to penetrate, didn't give up that three-point shot.
Outside, trying to get Pledger, but can't. And now it's Jackson. And the foul on Penny.
Active hands by Melbourne on Woodside. You know, kind of smaller guard. They're just getting their hands up and getting steals off of it. I think he had 1 or 2 in the first half.
And that hurts off a bit of a sloppy possession. That'll really hurt United. Kirk Penny just getting off the chain that time.
And he's into double figures now. New Zealand 46, Melbourne 42. Jackson just leans through.
And I like this out of Cedric Jackson. Melbourne United need him to lift if they're going to come away with a win today.
Penny, Vakona, hands it off to a stumbling Abercrombie. Woodside. Pledger was a good path to the basket in the first, and he is again at the start of the third.
And Pledger has that. I mean, he doesn't have the range out to 3, but he's got that little 12-footer. Faces the guys up. Hard to contest that with his height.
13 points for Alex Pledger now. Jackson. Kona just steps on or over the line. And it's a United ball.
Interesting little tactic there by New Zealand. Most teams we've seen that can't...
Able to stay with him, got great help from Majuk. Now, Oddity drops the 2.
Incredible defensive possession by Moore down the other end, just leaping with Abercrombie.
Penny. Couldn't get the shot into a scoring position, but does get the foul.
There's Odyssey again on the break. Gave it a little loop-de-loop before the finish.
Since the middle of that first quarter, Melbourne United looked very, very active defensively.
And look, no doubt that would have come off the back of a Dean Demopoulos spray after that first quarter when he started searching the bench, trying to find a little bit of a spark. That would have been one of his key points. lifting the intensity on the defensive end of the floor.
First one doesn't happen, but that one drops. Here's Jackson. Anderson. It's the turnaround and two. Lovely jumper. And Melbourne are able to work their way back to within 1 point again. And one for Woodside. Just to quieten the party.
This is just a big-time take by Woodside. Turns the screen away, straight down the middle for the little finger roll. And look, that can really open things up for the Breakers. When they start getting those easy ones on the rim, that's when the Melbourne United defense really has to start packing things in, which will open things up for the Breakers' perimeter players. We're talking about the Websters, Abercrombie, Penny, these guys to get going from range.
Gee, it's hard to get a read on this game, isn't it? What's going to happen from here? Completes the three-point play, Woodside. And once again, it's a 4-point margin. Kurt Penny sitting down. He has 11 points for New Zealand. Anderson an opening. 11 points. It's back to 2 points again. It's so tight since midway through the second. Pledger, plenty going on off the ball. Woodside loads up for three. And it doesn't drop.
It was great action by New Zealand.
And that's happened a number of times. They've earned themselves good looks out of the offense, just unable to knock it down.
Anderson going to be hard to stop. What's he got to do his move there? And scores a level.
And the big fella's starting to go to work. Big Dave Anderson. A couple of buckets within the last minute now for him.
Easy.
Webster plants his feet. Rips up the three. Good effort from Abercrombie, but can't maintain possession for New Zealand. And instead, it's the man of the first half, Kyle Adnam, setting things up here for Melbourne. Anderson. Oh,
Feed the big fella.
Melbourne making a conscious effort to give it to Dave Anderson in that block.
Melbourne really lifting the energy here. And just offensively for the Breakers, just looking a little bit sloppy down their end of the floor.
The one man who's so important, particularly with the two stars, Golding and Blanchfield, not out there, not just for his ability to score, but leadership and other things he offers is the veteran, David Anderson.
Absolutely, and this is his go-to move. This little spin, fade baseline, little jumper, that's his go-to. That's David Anderson's signature move.
Starting to get going in this third quarter.
He's been very effective down there for years. I think you made a point about New Zealand's offense down at the other end. I think we got to give some credit to the Melbourne United defense. I think they've been really, really good. Just being active, chasing guys off the three-point line, chasing guys over those screens, and getting active hands, and then coming up with those rebounds and looking to get out and run.
So this has been a stunning turnaround by Melbourne United. Look to be well out of this contest in the first quarter. No Chris Golding again for this weekend. Hopefully back next round. Hopefully.
Here, I ask.
Webster. Abercrombie. The catch and shoot. Mitchell tries to get it back, but Anderson's done well enough.
You can start to feel the desperation from both sides now on the glass.
Penny about to come back. Mitchell with authority. Feeding Woodside, they're on the move. The Breakers. Great connection with Pledger off the glass. Any which way, he can do it tonight. He's having a night out, 15 points.
And there's that connection again. These two just finding each other in transition once again.
Great pocket pass from Ben Woodside.
Anderson trying to get it into Majuk. And Woodside does exactly what he tried to do there. To make it a New Zealand ball.
Can't run, just stay here.
Anderson and Majuk both sitting down, so it's a pretty important little passing his old team. Floats one. Will do.
United just looking more patient than New Zealand on the offensive end of the floor at the moment. Great little take down the middle by Woodside, just a little float game.
Looked like he's looking to be aggressive on the penetration.
Oh, he's done it again, Kyle Adnam. And a little bonus to go with it. What a night for Kyle Adnam, 16 points with one to come.
And you got to love that. He just looks at the crowd. He says, I'm here to play, boys. That actually now equals Kyle Adnam's career high with 16 points, which he had against the Breakers last year with Chris Golding sitting out.
We're going to have a listen to Dean Demopoulos.
Great to show you guys helping on the weak side, okay? Everybody help on that. Hey, we shoot one right here. We come back and get a stop. We got 2 minutes here, fellas. We got to manage them. All right? We don't want to take them. Enjoy it, man. Listen.
And it's very clear that Dean Demopoulos is really making a focus of getting his guys through an offense. Obviously, with those prolific scorers out tonight, he's trying to make sure that the guys he has on the floor are aware of what they need to do, where they need to be.
New Zealand have a great record against Melbourne United. They've won 9 out of 11 occasions. And in Melbourne, it's 3-2 in favour of the Breakers. Kyle Adnam can't get that career high. There's an instant foul.
And Kyle Adnam's earned it back off the free throw line. Webster just called with an illegal block out.
And again, they're sneaking into foul trouble in this quarter, New Zealand. And Adnam returns to the line.
The team fouls are going to send him right back there.
Yeah. And now he's got a career high. And Melbourne out to a game high for them.
And Coach Dean Demopoulos. Of course, there's Ty Wesley knocking down the big triple, which sent him up 9. Down the other end here, with New Zealand struggling to score, Mac. As a former coach, Mac, you would understand the frustration of when, you know, a shooter like Kirk Penny, struggling to score a little bit, and then you send him to the line for 3 free throws. Must be pretty frustrating.
That is a frustrating one for him, for any shooter, but they want to get to the line. Again, seeing that ball go through the hoop
Sailing through
always helps.
Sailing through a second time. And now for a third for Kirk Penny. He's a little short. And Williams did well. Margin trimmed to 7.
Started this game.
And
Penny.
You've got to credit a lot of that to Kyle Adnam, don't you? Just sort of getting the energy up.
His energy has been definitely infectious.
Penny now 15 points. Adnam leading all though with 18 for the match. Here's Jackson. Tomlinson got a good long look.
I think that's a shot Nate can shoot. He doesn't look for it a lot, but when he has his feet set, it's a shot that he knocks down.
Penny getting double team, which leaves low open for a monster 3. And a foul against Adnam. And that'll send them to the line.
And just the contrast at the moment. It feels like everything is going down for Melbourne United at the moment. Ty Wesley, Nate Tomlinson from range just in the last few moments. Whereas
great hand.
95 seconds remaining. Adnam, has he got one more for us before 3/4 time?
confidence going.
Yeah, and the teammates know that. They're just going to check that basket, but it's counting.
I'll tell you what, that's the best looking air ball I've ever seen. Kyle Adnam with all the dance steps.
Great hesitation. Almost got low off his feet. Just a bit short on the left-hand runner. But Williams in the right place at the right time.
So at three-quarter time, it is Melbourne United, who were 10 points down at quarter time, 10 points up at three-quarter. 72-62, big last quarter ahead for the Breakers.
Do not exist. I just came to win. I just came to win. I ain't coming.
The early foul on.
Just loving the aggression of Kyle Adnam. He's reminding me a little bit of Jerome Randall from the Adelaide 36ers. Just that low center of gravity, his ability to change direction so quickly and get into the lane.
I think Kyle will be pretty happy with the comparison.
I think he'll be wrapped with that one.
Not sure what Jerome will be thinking watching on, but I know exactly what you mean. Here's Adnam. And he's taking on the big guys again. Kicks it out this time. Great rejection. Certainly, Renee Ingles, who's with us tonight on the sidelines. The crowd have been another factor in this game.
Well, boys, the only thing that New Zealand have to stop, it's not just Kyle Adnam tonight, and in this final quarter, this crowd is electric. It is going off in here. You cannot hear your own thoughts. And I think if it comes down and stays close, then it may just be what gets Melbourne over the line. It is electric.
Webster kicks out. Thanks, Renee. Penny. Hard on the left. Crowd calling for a travel. Penny.
Dimopoulos bringing Majuk and Cedric Jackson back into the game.
And Wesley tries to nurse that one in. Misses.
One here, guys.
5-point ball game. There's Majuk. 7 points for the night. 8 boards. Melbourne have really lifted their rebounding after that first quarter.
And that's just been big time for them. That's one of my key stats for them getting over the line, actually. Back to just a 3-rebound margin, 24-27 in favour of New Zealand.
It's an interesting group New Zealand has on. They got Corey Webster playing the 1 now.
And that's the travel call. He tried to grab his own ball back. He was thinking there might have been a foul, but...
That was one of those ones he could see the ball bouncing in front of him and he thought, if I pick this up, I'm going to get penalised, but he knew he couldn't just leave it sitting there.
6 points the difference. Jackson. Henderson. The night for him.
And that is a big-time foul out. Great extra effort here by Akil Mitchell. One of, Melbourne United's few sort of scoring options left out on the floor. Now going to have to spend the rest of the night on the sidelines.
You can see the pain on his face. Abercrombie taking Wesley on. Lowe gives it back to him. Opportunity presents. whistle from Melbourne. Got a bit messy for New Zealand. Jackson got to roll with it. Now Lowe, who's been an important player for them late, just floats it up. It's very ambitious for Mitchell. That's a foul call on Wesley. Crowd can't believe it.
It's okay.
Just really feeling the pressure here. And so is the crowd. Both teams looking to get back to 50-50 on the season. Melbourne lead by 6. Wesley puts the head down. No David Anderson. He was patient. And he got the look. He got the roll. He gets the points back for his team.
He is very tough in that block when he goes down there.
And Mitchell trying to use that athleticism, but didn't make it an easy path. And they are denied again. Time will be an issue soon for New Zealand. It's not quite yet. Adnan, crowd are ready for more action from King Kyle. Mitchell not tempted by the 3. He wants to take it all the way.
Boy.
And that's a much safer path.
And just caught Ty Wesley slip. Will back himself in that situation every time. He can post up much bigger defenders, even up to the sort of 6'4", 6'5" size.
They're not doubling him down there. I think he needs to go down. He has to finish those if they're not going to bring double teams to him. Because he gets himself down and he does a great job of getting positioned around the rim. He's got to finish those.
Woodside up to 4 fouls now for New Zealand.
New Zealand back in the zone.
Wesley doesn't take it this time. Jackson works his way back out for 3. Pledger. Spent a bit of time off the floor. Back out there for the closing stretch. Woodside, as we said, can't afford to foul. Penny. Pledger is able to take it. Woodside tries to feed it in.
Woodside passing up the open look from the perimeter.
He's knocking him down.
Stares it down. Comes up well short. 7 points, 4:37 to go. Can't make a lot of mistakes from here, New Zealand. Kona, Abercrombie, smooth-looking shot. Oh. Sneaky play there by Mika Bakona.
And that is the class of this New Zealand Breakers outfit. They haven't been given many opportunities to get away a clean look from 3. But that time, Abercrombie got one and he knocked it down.
3 from 10 for the field on the night. They've all been 3-pointers, the ones he's made. He's missed the regular field goals.
And look, it's got to be credit to Melbourne United's defence. Over the last 3 games, the Breakers have been shooting at 47% from the 3. Tonight, that's down to 38%.
Reduces it to 4 points, the difference. Every play vital from here. Jackson. Woodside defies him. Bakona gets up. Spoon feeds Blythe.
Ben Woodside on back-to-back occasions, just finding his partner in crime, Alex Pledger.
Scores a level all of a sudden.
And Woodside's hurt himself. He's limping towards Paulie Henare and the Breakers bench at the moment.
How good is the NBL in season 2016-17? Any team can beat any team. And we've got a big doubleheader coming your way tomorrow night. Cairns fresh from their first victory, taking on Andrew Gaze. This coaching game, it's easy. And then Perth take on Adelaide to complete what's going to be a massive Saturday night. The Wildcats against the 36ers. that to look forward to tomorrow night, but plenty to look forward to in the remaining 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Scores tied.
Absolutely. And we've been saying it all night tonight, but it's so hard to pick this one, which way it's going to go.
So much at stake tonight. Both sides want to get back to 50%. Kyle Adnam, has he got a couple of big plays to come?
9. Don't go after him. 9.
And Corey Webster's been called for the blocking foul on Kyle Adnam.
Here we go. Here we go.
Sending him to the foul line for 2. Here it is again. Adnam just getting into his body. Looked to me like Corey Webster did everything he possibly could. Just a bit too much contact.
Coach Demopolis has a lot of confidence in the young fella. Coming out of the timeout, running the play for him to go isolation.
Adnam misses the first, but makes the second, and Melbourne are back in front. United by 1. Abercrombie, danger man. Webster, equally as dangerous. Can't get it, but it's Pledger.
And that is just 2 absolute warriors of the NBL. Here's the no call. Big Alex Pledger just sending away Ty Wesley.
Signal no basket. Yeah. Down here.
It's a United ball. It's Corey Webster.
It's good to see Nate down there fighting Vacona for that rebound. It's great to see no let up in these guys.
Webster off the court in the stretch. Tomlinson, Wesley, Moore. Oh, just desperate to get it there, and Mitchell with a friendly tap. Ties up the scores.
It's not pretty, but United will take it.
Great little hands there. Oh, Cedric wasn't ready for it to come back his way. Recovers. Jackson. Foul call on Mika Vacona.
It's great hands by Cedric.
And the breakers with that. And Abercrombie not waiting at all.
Unbelievable.
Extraordinary touch.
He's always played well here. Abercrombie's always played well in this stadium.
Well, the breakers have a 9-2 advantage over United, so they've almost got to defy history here, United. Without 2 of their stars, they're going to take this one all the way. Scores are level as Moore comes up with 2 very big points to tie the ball game at 83 apiece.
And this is the type of game we love. It was a little messy early, but these teams are just going bucket for bucket. This is an absolute heavyweight fight.
We said it would be a tough one. Like you said from the start, didn't look like that. But the fight back for Melbourne has just been unreal.
Amazingly enough, the New Zealand Breakers have committed 25 fouls, and yet no one has been fouled off. Melbourne have lost Anderson from their 16 fouls. Vacona is on 4. Woodside
Sneakers, he loves these on the clock.
Hello, you talked about their last year in the semifinals. New Zealand came in here and beat the Melbourne United. Amazing enough, 2 out of the top 3 scorers were Cedric Jackson and Ty Wesley. Now Melbourne United players.
Now they're Melbourne United players. Wesley has 15 for the night. Jackson, 5 assists along with his 7 points. Who's going to take the shot for New Zealand? Penny into Pledger. Great ball movement. Good defense there from Jackson. Taking Penny out. Got some protection. Doesn't take the shot. Wesley got the hand in. Melbourne has possession.
What a defensive possession there by Ty Wesley and Cedric Jackson.
Crowd on their feet. Moore. Scores tied. 40 seconds remaining. Shot got down to 8. Who wants it? Who wants it? Eventually the numbers prevail. And it's a New Zealand ball.
Arena is going
Everybody on their
Ish. But we're not done yet. This was the play.
It's a great little penetration there by Moore. Just not enough gusto on the little floater to get it there.
Who'll come out? Who'll have the most energy coming into this overtime?
Well, interesting, going back to that foul count, Hutto, you mentioned a lot of the breakers, or at least a couple of them sitting on 4 and 3 fouls. I mean, Woodside or Abercrombie, one of those guys would be a massive loss for them in this extra period.
Now, particularly Abercrombie, who's found his range.
And of course, it just makes that loss of David Anderson sting that little bit more for Melbourne United.
You know, try to tie it up and couldn't knock it down. You know, to go at Ramon Moore, I think it's a good option. Just came up short on the shot.
So we head to overtime. Let's get down to Renee Ingles to tell us a bit about the Demopoulos approach during the break. Renee?
Wow, it was loud down there, guys. Lots of energy. The boys didn't want to stay sitting in their seats and couldn't get out there fast enough. Plenty of energy coming out of that Melbourne timeout.
Yeah, who's going to have enough in the tank? Everyone's going to be willing themselves.
You gotta love that about the NBL. Teams are fighting early. You know, still, what, 7, 8 games into the season, you don't want to drop one.
Well, we said pre-match it felt like a must-win game. It still feels that way. Particularly for Melbourne, the home side. As Penny trips over the line.
And great defence there by Nate Thomason, just right in the jocks of Kirk Penny, making him step back.
Woodside recognizing the mismatch and then also recognizing the mismatch that Nate had Pledger. So if he missed, who's going to get the rebound?
What a night he's had, 20 points. First points of overtime belong to New Zealand.
Pledger called for getting in too early after that second free throw attempt. Melbourne United ball.
Sub Webster for Penny.
Interesting to see how long he's sitting for, Kirk Penny. So Tomlinson ready to run the play. Odigi's back out there as well. So Dean Demopoulos putting his trust in Plenty. Jackson. Odigi. Oh, yes! What a time to step up! Oh, and Odigi. And Melbourne lead by 2. Great. It's been a match. No individual has dominated. They've all had periods of play where they've stepped up. Who will it be in the last 2 minutes 42? United lead by 2. Muscling his way in was Jackson, then just had to throw it up and hope. Woodside now on the transition. Precious go and then slams it out for Mitchell. Webster, the ball was there for Jackson to snatch. Webster got in trouble, didn't like it. Odigi, foul call, and that'll be it for Abercrombie.
New Zealand look a bit stagnant on their offense.
And you've just got to credit Melbourne United. They're doing such a good job of forcing them off that three-point line and into the lane.
Absolutely. Not against you, Cedric. Where is he?
We've got Woodside just falling out of bounds. Seems to have rolled that ankle. So that's just 2 big losses now for the Breakers. It's going back to the well and down the floor.
That's a rush shot from Penny, and this time it's low. It cleans up. Interesting that Pledger is not out there. Faith being showed in low. Back to 2 points. 1:44.
Here we go again. Back at Webster in the low block.
Webster almost trying to push back. Out for Tomlinson. Majuk!
Great find by Nate Tomlinson on that penetration. Knew the shot blocker was coming over. Just dropped it off to Majuk.
Abercrombie possibly fouled there. No call. Webster doesn't have the confidence he normally has. Low, can you believe that?
What a time to step up.
The biggest man out there shoots the three. And it's back to 1 point. What else is going to happen in this game? We're down to a minute 2. Jackson, the go-to play. This time.
That's a great call, Mac. Ty Wesley just caught a little bit slow on that occasion, getting out to low. They've been so good at it all night, though, pre-rotating, pushing guys off the three.
He hasn't played a lot, but it's the one thing that he actually does really well. He can step out and shoot that shot.
All 6'11" of him. He's a tall black now, playing in the NBL for the first time. And has a 31% record from the three-point line, but it's been 100% when it's counted.
And just stepped up at the right time. He's up to the 13 points now. Only the 4 rebounds from the big fella, but getting it done offensively.
Doesn't look good, does it, for Ben Woodside? He's in a lot of pain. Let's get to Renee.
Yeah, in a lot of pain. The tape is off. He will not take any further part in the game. He's visibly frustrated and in pain, but certainly it's not keeping him in his seat. He's been up, he's been cheering, high-fiving, still wanting to be a
very big unit for the break. Mika in the 3.
5 minutes.
Big possession for Melbourne. Let's see what they go to.
More with the inbound. We're down to 35 seconds. 10 overtime remaining. And they go to the same play. Points don't count.
Coach Paulianari obviously subbing in his bigs, knowing how important it is to come away with a defensive rebound on this possession.
Step back the line.
Third breaker to have 4 fouls on him now. Corey Webster.
Interesting matchup. They got Akil Mitchell, who will be on Cedric now.
Movement here.
Forcing Melbourne United to go away from that little post up in the block, which they've been going to all overtime.
Do they dare to take a 3? No, Jackson looks for the 2. He looks for Majuk. Abercrombie. Nothing can stop him. Bang! 4 points the margin. 20 seconds remaining. Urgency required. Ty Wesley. Oh, it's a rush shot. And it doesn't drop.
What a game.
What a game indeed. And whoever was going to lose this was going to feel like it got away from them. But this is going to be really painful for Dean Demopoulos and Melbourne United if they do go down. Penny to the line. A reliable source.
The bonus is on the 3rd foul.
Especially for Melbourne. They got to back up on Sunday.
Yeah, look at that. Chris
Going down to
Golding.
Illawarra.
Gotcha.
I know he wants to be out there.
As expected, Kirk Penny calm and cool enough to knock down both of those. Taking it out to a 6-point margin now.
What a performance this has been by New Zealand. Tomlinson looking for Wesley for the triple. And that will be it. The New Zealand Breakers have won an incredible match. They got off to a great start, lost their lead, looked down and out, but they forced this game to over.
great job with a comprehensive win on the rebound count, 46-31 in that category. And to me, that's what really sort of got them across the line.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights, and there were plenty. This is the shot that didn't make it, that forced the game into overtime. Tough one for Chris Golding, but then in overtime, Odyssey got a big shot away for 3, but it was New Zealand that gradually got on top.
You said it, Hado. I mean, both teams had their opportunities, both in that final quarter, down the stretch, and in overtime. It was just New Zealand that came up with a little bit of a run at the right time. Webster, of course, finding low down the stretch here for these back-to-back threes. We're about to see the second one. Wabap, that was enough to get the job done for the Breakers.
So that's a huge win for the New Zealand Breakers. Abercrombie was also outstanding. So this season giving us plenty of excitement, and that's going to continue tomorrow night, a big doubleheader which starts with Cairns against Sydney. Cairns fresh from a victory at home.